And we're live. Success in trading is not just about placing trades, it's about trading in a certain way. That's what I always say when people say to me, well, what's different about tribal traders? And I always say essentially that, all right, because most people who get into trading with the view of learning everything there is to learn about trading and then trying to make a success in trading by just trading. Here's the thing. Trading is far more than just placing trades. Trading is about mastery of oneself, self-mastery. Get self-mastery, you get self-governance. Get self-governance, everything changes. My name is Judy V, and I'm co-founder of Tribe of Traders, and we are deeply, passionately committed and will go to any lengths to make traders or empower traders to be profitable. And I'm also author of the book Truth About Trading. And what I want to speak about today, essentially, which runs through this book, it's a golden thread that runs through this book, and that is the truth about the mindset that you need in order to trade successfully. And specifically, what I want to speak about today is money. I've always said that if you don't have a really good relationship with money, a healthy relationship with wealth building, you're going to really, really struggle to be profitable in your trading. How's it, Lynette? How are you doing? You'd be surprised as well how much baggage you're carrying with you about money. And I've worked with traders now for years, and some of them I've worked consistently over the years now for almost 3 years consistently. And as we progress working with them, and as their trading grows, and as their wealth building opens up, and they're increasing their net worth, you'd be surprised at how many more layers of money issues come up that we have to crack through in order for them to take massive leaps forward. Okay, because here's the thing: our issues with money, our perceptions around money, actually start when we're so young. So that by the time you're like in your 20s and your 30s, you've had years of baggage built up. And here's the thing: our perceptions are formed in a moment in time. And when that perception is formed, neurologically, what happens is your neurons connect, or they fire and connect in a way that supports that perception. So whether we like it or not, unless we're conscious of it happening, whether we like it or not, we are going to react the next time that situation happens the way in which our perception was formed the first time. So we're 5 years old and we say to mom, listen, mom, I want a motorbike for Christmas, please. You see these BMW motorbikes whizzing past. I want one of them for Christmas. And mommy says, no, Johnny, you can't have a motorbike for Christmas. You're too small. You're too young. No, Johnny, you could be silly. You can't have a motorbike. You couldn't drive a motorbike. Mommy didn't mean anything nasty about it. Mommy didn't mean anything mean about it. But as a 5-year-old, you are just a sponge and you're just taking in information. You're not cognitively discerning the information that's coming to you. You formed an opinion or perception in that moment. Your brain wired and fired. And ever since then, however you perceive that information, the tone of mommy's voice, or what, you're too small, or you're too young, or mommy might have said in a moment without even thinking of the impact, where do you think I'm going to get the money from for a motorbike? You never know how it landed for you. With the result that if it was a limiting perception, a limiting belief that was formed in that moment, that is what we've carried forward. That's what you've carried forward for the rest of your life. So now, baby, you're in your mid-30s, and over the years, you have then built up on that belief that money is not freely available. I don't get what my heart desires because we can't afford it, whatever it might be. Or I'm not good enough, or I'm too small. Whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. And listen, here's the thing. A lot of people don't really want to acknowledge that their perceptions around money are formed so young, or that they have issues around money. But if you don't have everything that your heart desires, you're not living a life fulfilled in every area of life, in each of the 7 areas of life, fulfilled and empowered, and living your life day after day to the fullest extent of your potential, and in exactly the way in which you would love it to be, and you are able to fulfill every one of your heart's desires, I'm going to put it to you, then there is an issue around your perceptions of money, wealth building, and deserving. Okay, otherwise you'd have it. That's a fact. So whilst you may want to poo-poo, you may want to just reject, you may want to just decline to acknowledge this. But here's the thing, and that's fine. But here's the thing. You have a choice. If everything you've been doing up until now has worked, great, fantastic, and you're fulfilling your heart's desires and there's no challenge, that's great, that's fantastic, wonderful, okay? But if not, here's the thing, as Einstein said, if you keep on doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. So isn't it time for a pattern interrupt and say, hold on a second, what I've been doing up until now hasn't really worked to a lesser or greater degree at different times and throughout your life. So how about I just take a different approach and open my mind to the possibility that there might be another way? Because I have worked with way too many people, and I have seen it myself over and over again. Once we dive deeper into the issues that we carry around about money, so much starts to open up. You start to change your relationship with money in a way that it no longer runs you. You start to see money as nothing but a tool, and you start focusing on the truth of what your heart desires. In other words, as I always say, you deal with the cause, and the effect takes care of itself. The effect is growing in wealth. Okay, so what I'm doing at the moment, I'm in the middle of a 15-day recharge challenge with traders from around the world, in the Tribe of Traders and not in the Tribe of Traders, and also in my other business, Judy V, Wealth Building with Judy V. So we have this challenge going on. There's a lot of people taking part. It's 15 days. Now, last week, what we focused on was all around our perceptions and our feelings and our emotions and things that we've got challenges about, things that we feel anxiety around. This week, we're focusing 100% on all things money. We're going to pull that curtain back, and we're going to get out the digging machine, and we're going to dig deep into what our perceptions are, what our relationship is with money, and where they first came from. Now, the thing with perceptions, they may have been relevant in that point of time, because mommy saying to you as a 5-year-old, no, you cannot, Johnny, have a motorbike, is relevant. It's appropriate. You can't run around on a motorbike, right? As a 5-year-old, that was appropriate, but how we perceived it was not necessarily as it was meant. So that might have been appropriate, but it's not necessarily appropriate the next time we acted that out, and the next time, and the next time, and the next time. And each time we did that, the more embedded that perception and that belief became, to the point where physiologically it's a natural response for us, because the protein around the neurons that have been wired and fired have built up. So you can't imagine not having that perception. Okay. Right? So this is where, and this happens every second of every day throughout our whole life, right? So the point is that get to a point where everything feels like it's knotted and tangled in your mind, you don't know what's what, and sometimes you ask yourself, I guarantee you will ask yourself this question, why did I do that? Especially when you take a trade. Afterwards you look at it and you're scratching your head and you think, why did I do that? That's the sort of thing we are addressing in the Recharge Challenge. The focus is unknotting, unraveling all of these perceptions that play out in our life all the time, specifically when it comes to wealth building, money, and specifically trading. We're trading money. It's important, it's imperative, it's essential to have a really good relationship with money. So what we're doing with this challenge is we're unraveling and unknotting all of those perceptions, all of those beliefs, and we're asking ourselves the real question. Well, is that relevant? Or where did that come from? Or why do I have that? Is it real? Is it true? And you have an opportunity to actually decide how you're going to go forward with it. Unless we are conscious of what's going on and conscious of what is driving our behavior and our beliefs and our perceptions, we'll never be able to shift them, change them, reframe them, or turn them in a way that supports us. So if you would love to join the next 5 days of the challenge, because this whole money we're focusing on all week this week, I'm going to put the link into the group below. It's totally free. I'm going to put the link in the group below. Please do join us. Because this week, we're going to dive deep into all of those perceptions. We're going to shine a light. That's what I say, shine a light on the dark corners of our mind around money and wealth building. And when you do that, and when you start to shift those perceptions, what you find is you unlock your intuitive, natural, innate intuitive nature, and you become way more intuitive with your trading or any form of wealth building. And that's when the magic starts to happen. So I'll see you there. Take care. Bye-bye.